Hey guys, I have to bring you a book today, and this one is amazing. It's from all my 80s hard rockers, so this is for anyone who loves 80s music, or if you're just a history buff and you like to know about the history of music, this book is amazing. So it's called Nothing But a Good Time, The Uncensored History of the 80s Hard Rock Explosion, and it's by Tom Bonjour. Now, so this book starts off basically 1977, talking about Van Halen, Def Leppard, kind of those big bands. And it basically walks us through the 80s. All the bands that came through, really starting basically with Motley Crue was the first big one, and kind of how they formed with one another. Guns N' Roses, Poison, Winger, Slaughter, Striper, some bands that I had never heard of that came at the tail end of the 80s. But anyway, so what this book does is it talks about how it was all a Western kind of movement. It all started off in like Hollywood, Los Angeles, all these bands, and it's freaking amazing because they talk about all these awesome places, these venues that they get to play in. So anybody that knows a little bit about 80s rock, it pretty much died out with Nirvana, Nevermind. However, there were other things at play. And so the book actually talks about really why they think that 80s rock music fizzled out as soon as Nirvana Nevermind came out. So it's very interesting, that take on why 80s music died out. So another thing that I really loved about this book, and it talks about, my generation who absolutely loved 80s rock. It's talking about now basically they're all in their 50s, early 60s, and how they call them like flight concerts, where they fly to a casino on the weekend and they play, and all these monster rock cruises, and basically saying that the reason they came back around in the 2000s is basically because all of us now have money to pay those $300 tickets if we want. But it's really good. It'll draw you in, and I left with like, poor Kip Winger. There were things that I really didn't know. So I'm a Winger fan, but did you know that Kip Winger was into ballet? He was into classical music, and the reason that people make fun of him, or that he was kind of like everybody dogs on Winger, is because Beavis and Butthead one of the characters wore his shirt, and in a Metallica video they threw darts at a Kip Winger poster. So I guess I forgot that. I didn't know that. So that was a very interesting tidbit. I do like Winger. I always thought Kip Winger was freaking attractive, so I don't know what they were thinking. But it does talk about the misogynistic 80s decade of decadence. So amazing men, women. If you're an 80s fan, this book is a must read. I really enjoyed it. So nothing but a good time. Have a great day.